Welcome to the P&S Transportation Online Safety Meeting regarding cargo securement, avoiding CSA 2010 cargo securement violations. I'm Ben Dunn from the Safety Department, and I will be doing this meeting for you. Top violations for flatbedders industry-wide in 2011. Number one, damaged securement tie-downs. 13,000 tickets given in 2011 for this. Number two, loose or unfastened tie-downs. Over 8,000 tickets. Improper securement of heavy equipment, over 6,000. Containers improperly secured, over 3,000. And failure to meet minimum tie-down requirements, over 2,500 tickets. P&S transportation cargo violations from April of 2010 to April of 2012 are as follows. We have 18 failure to prevent cargo shift. This can mean something not tied down or that we actually had a cargo shift that they wrote us up for. Next on the list, failing to secure load. Just what it says, something's not secured, something not tied down. Insufficient tie downs have 12 different violations. This can be anything from not having enough tie downs or having them spaced improperly. We have 10 loose or unfastened tie downs. And then finally, non-damaged securement system. This is damaged chains and straps. So let's just start at the beginning. How much securement do you need? FMCSA requires 1/2 of the weight of the cargo in securement. So you take your cargo weight, divide it by 2, and it gives you your securement. You take that and divide it by the working load limit of your straps and chains, will give you the number of straps and chains needed. For example, 48,000 pounds divided by 2 means you have to have 24,000 pounds of securement. Well, working load limit for our straps is 5,400 pounds, so 24,000 divided by 5,400 is 4.4 straps. You round up, you have to have 5 straps minimum to be legal. Same 48,000 pound load, if you're using chains, you divide it by the working load limit of their chains, which is 4,700 pounds. It ends up being 5.1, which means you have to have 6 chains minimum to be legal. But remember, these are minimum requirements, so we ask that you go above and beyond to ensure proper securement. It's not just the number of tie downs, but spacing is important. DOT says you have to have 2 tie downs within the first 10 feet. And then your straps have to have a strap within every 10 foot down. What P&S Transportation wants to see is these 2 in the first 5 feet, and then every 8 foot after. This gives you an extra strap or 2 over the load, and it removes doubt from the DOT officer that's looking at you as you pass through his scale or in front of his patrol car. So 2 in the first 5 foot on linear loads, then 1 strap every 8 foot after. Avoiding damaged tie downs. Very important that you do your pre-trip inspections and pay attention to your straps and chains. Make sure you use proper edge protection. Remember, if the DOT officer thinks you need edge protection and you don't have it, he can write you up for it. The third one here is extremely important. Remove damaged straps from the trailer. A strap that is damaged that is still on the trailer is considered still in service, and you can be written up for it. Also, do your load securement checks, one in the first 50 miles and then 150 miles or 3 hours after. These load checks are extremely important. It's not just if everything's tight, but make sure you've got nothing damaged as well. Keys to avoiding loose tie downs. Once again, a thorough pre-trip inspection. Make sure everything is tight from where you parked the night before. Your load checks are extremely important here as well. One in the first 50 miles, and then one every 150 miles or 3 hours after. I strongly recommend you do a load check every time you get out of your truck. Proper storage and securement of all equipment. All equipment must be properly secured. Use straps to secure tarps on the headache rack. No bungees there. Now, you still have to use a 1-inch straps. Use a 2-inch strap to secure your dunnage to the landing gear. No bungees ever. 1-inch straps will run out of favor as well. You need a 2-inch strap to secure your dunnage to your undercarriage. All bars must have a pin holding them in place. The bars I'm talking about are the ones that hold your rack. You've got to have that cotter pin. If the cotter pin's not there, they can write you up for it. Pipe stakes must be secured all times on the trailer. If you've got pipe stakes up, they have to either be chained or bungeed into place. Quick reminder on suicide loaded coils. Remember, securement through the eye is all that counts. Nothing over the top. We want to see chains only. And P&S requires FMCSA minimum chains +1. This is a 48,000-pound coil. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chains. FMCSA says you only have to have 6. P&S wants that 7th. Once again, everything has to go through, all your securement has to pass through the eye. You cannot cross your chains on a suicide load and go +1 on your chains. Shotgun loaded coils. P&S Transportation wants to see 1 set of chains crossed. So if you're looking at the top of the coil, this is the front of the truck, and this is the eye. Your first set will cross like this in the middle. The rest of your chains will C or U, whichever you prefer to call it. But remember, your C or U chains only count 1/2 the working load limit. Gets a lot of people in trouble hauling shotgun coils. That rule will get you in trouble hauling heavy equipment as well. Remember, C or U chains are direct tie downs, only 1/2 the working load limit. Straps over a shotgun loaded coil do count. So you see the straps here and here. Those are required to be legal. If this is a 45,000-pound, he's got 6 chains and 2 straps. Remember FMCSA +1 again. 6, 45,000. Have to have 6 chains and 2 straps according to P&S. 6 and 1 strap will do you the FMCSA, but remember 1 extra. Palletized freight. You see here a load of shingles. You will notice the rear and the front are double strapped. That is a requirement. That is law. So double strap the front and rear pallets. If your pallets are very tall, or if this something that's wrapped and not quite packed as tight as these shingles, you may want to cross strap the front to keep it from shifting. But that double strap front and rear is a federal requirement. Watch for unsecured cargo. If you look at this pipe load, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pipe across the top here that are not secured. They have nothing touching them. Cargo has to have pressure on it from a strap, chain, or block of dunnage. If you look at the graphic on the right, you will see the pipe across on this layer. You see the layer of dunnage. You see the strap over the top here. This pipe and this pipe will get you in trouble. You will be written up for it if you're caught. You see there's nothing touching it from the top. Properly secured, you have to have pressure from the top. You see here, to fix this one, we put that 1 extra on a piece of dunnage here, here, and here. Straps over the top of it. This board right here presses down on all that pipe under it, which makes it legal. Back over to the graphic, you can see the pipe layers, the layer of dunnage. This piece right here presses down on every one of these pipes. You don't always have to have that top layer of dunnage. If it's got pipe laying on it, you may be able to stagger the way the pipe are sitting in the grooves in the top and get it done. But watch the extra pieces on top are pipes and bundles of different sizes. It gets a lot of drivers in trouble. So make sure you're paying attention to that. Other points to remember: snap binders must always be wrapped or tied so they can't be opened. If you don't have enough slack to wrap them with chain, you can wrap them in bungee cords, you can wire them closed, or you can use zip ties, whatever you have to keep them from being able to open. Once again, I want to remind you the direct tie-down rule. All right, the U and C chains only count 1/2 the working load limit. It's very important hauling shotgun coils and heavy equipment. So make sure you remember that rule. Once again, going to reiterate, take those damaged straps off the trailers. If they're on the trailer, consider it in service, and you can be written up for them. Cargo securement needs to maintain a very high priority for all flatbedders. Remember, the FMCSA requires 1/2 the weight of cargo and securement. Spacing of securement devices is extremely important, not just the number, but how they're spaced. Proper pre-trip and load securement checks are vital to avoiding violations. All cargo and equipment must be properly secured and stored. And attention to detail is extremely important when checking cargo securement. What I mean by attention to detail, you can have 10 or 12 straps over a load, and they're all tight, but one's got a cut in it that's a write-up. If you've got one strap loose out of those 10, it's a write-up. One binder not wrapped out of 10 is a write-up. One cracked chain or cracked hook is a write-up. It has to be perfect, so attention to detail is extremely important. I'd like to thank you for attending this online cargo securement meeting. If you have any questions, you can contact safety. My extension is extension 292. Jonathan Marshall can be reached at extension 248, or Josh Phillips can be reached at extension 303. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. Thank you again, and be safe.